So in this video, we're going to be looking at how we can construct a drawing that shows the uh, hand-cut roof construction within a property. On this particular one, we can see that I've got all the rafters, ceiling collars, the gable ladder. I've also put the gable end up on this end, but I've kept it open on the other just so to help see the construction of the roof and how it all goes together. One thing you'll notice is, or you might notice, is that the walls are slightly different to what you would normally get on Revit. So what I've done is I've made a start on this already, and you can see this is where we're going to start from. These are actually two separate wall systems. The reason I've done that is so that we can have this offset wall at the top, so that the inside blockwork is higher than what the exterior face brickwork is going to be. You can't really do that in Revit, or not that I'm aware of, with the standard wall systems, unless you're going to start going down the stacked wall route, which is a bit complicated for what we need. So I've just drawn out two walls, one exterior on its own, and then one interior going around on its own as well. And then just offset this one here. You can see I've just offset it one block height by 225. So let's make a start then on the roof itself. So to start off, we're going to need some wall plates. And the wall plate is the bit of timber that sits on top of the wall. So to do that, I'm going to go into the level that's going to be drawn out, which is level 1. So I go into level 1 here and go into structure, and we're going to use beam for this. And when we open up beam, all we've got in there is this one beam all the time. So we need to go into load family. And when we get to load family, you go into your families, scroll down to structural framing, which is this one here, and go into wood, and then go into timber. Once you're in there, you're not really going to use any of these. I just grab a few like that, and then just click on OK, because that then loads that many into our timber properties, and there you can see they're in there now. These dimensions that come standard with Revit aren't really usable for what we need, so we're going to make our own. So we're just going to pick the top one, this one here, and we're going to go edit type, and we're going to duplicate, and we're going to call this 100 by 50. It's a pretty standard size timber to sit as a wall plate. And in dimensions, we've got this B and the D, so we've got a breadth and depth. So this one here is going to be 100, because that's its breadth, and the depth of it will be 50. We got that, and I'm in level 1. What I'll do is I'll draw it first, and then I'll change some more parameters once we've drawn it. So I'm going to draw it just to there, and when I go into my 3D view, it should be hidden somewhere. There it is, hidden under here. Look, so you can see that the piece of timber is actually sitting in the wall. So to do this, you want to change the Z justification from top to bottom. And then this here should be 225. Yeah, it pops. And we can see it on the top there. Yep. And we're going to do the same for the other side. So we can just go back into level 1. And again, go to beam, timber 100 by 50. I'm actually starting this timber here. So in line with the inside of the inside wall, on the centre of the inside blockwork. And just bring it down to there like that. And go back into 3D, and then we should, wrong 3D, go back into 3D, and again we can see this beam here, so just grab that, and then we go from top to bottom, and then the offset value is 225, because that's how much higher this internal blockwork is for level 1. So now we've got our wall plates in place. So what we can do now is we can now start drawing up our rafters. So we go back into level 1, and when we're in level 1, we're going to be going back into structure, into beam. We're going to need some new timber this time, because 100 by 50 won't be quite big enough. So this time we're going to go edit type, and we're going to duplicate this. And this time this is going to be 50 by 150. So this time its breadth is going to be 50, and its depth is going to be 150. That makes its orientation so it's almost like it's standing upright. So once I've done that, I can now start thinking about where I want to draw, where I want to draw this coming across here. Now, to help me, what I can do actually is if I go into architecture and just draw a roof out line, I'm just going to use the roof generic 125. I'm actually going to use pick lines, and I'm going to have an offset of, I don't know, 250 mil. 250. And pick these outside walls here. This roof we're not actually going to use, we actually get rid of it at the end, but we can use it as a template to work with. Before I complete that, I just want to highlight those two there and undefines the roof slope. So these two here will be gable ended. So the only slopes are this one here and this one here. For these ones here, I'm going to change this from 30, I'm going to go down to 25. Just keep it a nice low pitch, and then tick OK. And what we should now see is we've got this roof, that's it here. Yep, that's good. So what we can do is, because it's going to be in the way a little bit, I want to try and make it a bit more transparent. So we can right click on the roof itself. Then we've got this override graphics in view by element. So when we're in here, we've got this transparency. We can set this about, I don't know, 60 odd %. Click apply, and you can see it's almost like a ghost roof now, but we can still access and see and click on things through the roof, but we can still use it as a guide, if you like. Same in level 1. So if we click on it in level 1, you have to do it in each view. Override graphics in view by element, and again, just wind this up to about 50-60%. Doesn't matter exactly how much, but around about there somewhere. And again, I can now access things underneath the roof itself if I need to. So once we're in here then, at level 1, we can go into structure, go into beam, and we're going to use our 50 by 150, and I'm actually going to start off down here somewhere. I'm going to start on the outside of the roof, and I'm going to bring this across to the center, and I'm then going to go from the center again out to the outside of that one there. And when I go into 3D, I should see 2 flat beams. There they are, sitting down. What I now need to do is get these up so that they're the same pitch as the roof itself. I can use the south elevation sometimes for this, if it will show it up, maybe not. So in that case, I'm going to have to draw a 3D section. So if I go in, a 2D section. So if I go into level 1 and then the 2D section button, I'm just going to draw it through there like so. So when I look at this section now, I can see it there. I'm just going to reduce the depth of it so we don't pick up that end wall. So if I bring this back like this, I don't pick up that end wall, so it's less confusing, less lines on there. Set it to fine so I can see it a bit better. So this is a beam that we're looking at, and what I need to do is raise this end up. So what I need to do is, I'm actually going to be pivoting on this point here. So I do need to raise the whole thing up to start off with. So if I click on that beam, and then you can see the Z justifications at the top. I want to change that to bottom, click apply, and up it comes. I can do the same with the other one whilst I'm here. So it's at the top, just click that to bottom, that picks it up. So what these are now going to do, when I lift this one up, it'll rotate on that point there. So I do need to measure how high I need to go, because it doesn't do it in degrees, it only does it as a measurement. So from the bottom there, bring that up, and to the top there, that's 1422. So I just need to remember that. So with this here, click on that. So this was where I started. So that's my start level offset. This is where I finished drawing it. So that's my end level offset. So I can't remember what that number was now. I have to draw it again, measure it again. I should write it down really. Up to there. So it's 1422. On here then, that there is 1422. Up it goes. That's just twisted it up to where we want it to be. Do the same with this one here, but this time it's the start level offset. That's one I drew where I started from, 1422, and up that goes as well. That's good. And what we can also do is in this view is this roof again. Right click, override graphics in view by element, and then just get that transparency to around about 50 or 60%. And then we can see what's going on here. So I just want to drag this one down to here a bit, and I can drag this one up here. And what I need to do now is put in my ridge board at the top here. Come on, this is not playing ball. There we go, that's better. I want you to put my ridge board in here. So to do this, again, go into level 1, and this time I'm going to go beam again, and I'm going to go timber. I'm going to make a new one again. So edit type. And this time it's going to be a duplicate, and we're going to make this one 50 by 225. So a nice big heavy bridge board. 225 will be a bit. And when we're in here, then I can now start there and come all the way down to here. Go back into my section view and have a look. Oh, cancel. You can see it's right down here. Yep. Again, when I click on that, I want to change the Z justification from top to bottom. So that now brings it up. And again, I'm going to use my measuring tool and see about where I want it to sit. So from the underside of there, and I'm going to want it to sit down about here somewhere. So I've got 1410. We can always move around if we need to afterwards. That was about 1410, and that's going in the Z offset value box. That's a bit high, so we're going to drop that down to about 1380. So what we've got now, if we go to 3D view, we've now got this ridge board sitting up, and we've got these rafters coming up against it. And what we'll do is we'll now need to join these together. There's different ways we can do that. One's called notching, and the other one is using a reference plane. I'll show you both ways, but the reference plane is the one you want to use really because it's quickest, and you'll see that when we get going, especially if you've got a lot of rafters to do. In fact, we won't do that much. We'll just do the reference plane because that's the best way to do it. So once we're in here, then what I need to do is drag those so that they're actually running at least all covered up into there. And this one here is at least all covered up into there, like so. What I'm going to do is go into level 1, and I'm going to maneuver these so that they're in the right place. So I'm just going to grab one and drag it down. Drag this one down as well, and just make sure I've got them in the right place, because I thought I moved one around there. No, it looks all good to me there. So in level 1, so that's where my first one's going to sit, and you want about at least a 50mm gap between here and here, which I've definitely got there. It could be a little bit more, but it doesn't want to be any less than 50mm. So once I've got these in here now, what I need to do is, if I hover for one and then tab key and then select, so I've got them both selected, I'm going to use this copy tool up here. And once I've done the copy tool, I can then, on this outside line, just click once and then come out whatever positions they want to be, whether they're 400, 500, 600mm centers. For the purpose of this one, I'll just do 400mm centers. Click again, 400, and just keep clicking, and it will just keep copying across the rafters at 400mm centers. You do need to make sure you're at 90 degrees with this. It's quite easy to click and it's not at 90 degrees. I'm nearly there. So if you're doing a big roof, it will take a bit longer. And then this last one just wants to be about there somewhere. And then what we can do is escape key to stop us from putting any more on. Select both of these, and then we can just use the arrow keys just to get it so it's around about 50mm, just over 50mm away from the edge of that wall. So that gets us to there. What we can then also do is, once again, multiple select those, copy those, and then we want to get another set right on the outside there. And it's the same coming down here. So with these ones here, multiple select these. So tab key, select on it, copy tool, this outside line here, and it's going to link up with that outside line there. And when we go into 3D, we can now see we've got this basic roof, but we've got a few issues because we've got these connections here which aren't quite correct, and our rafter feet need cutting, and we need to be putting the ladder in. And I'm going to show you that in the next video because these videos get too long otherwise. So I'll show you that in the next video. I'll see you then.